Hampton Mansion was probably built in the 1740s. Generations of families, the Horeys, the Pinckneys, and the Rutledges lived here. And apparently, George Washington visited in 1791. They've deconstructed parts of the house so you can see how it was built. And then here is the ballroom, or the long room, where George Washington was known to have feasted when he stopped by on his inaugural tour. And these are the same floorboards that apparently he walked onto because they haven't been changed since. And they call that the George Washington tree, I found out, because they were thinking about cutting it down, and they told him that, and he said, save the tree, and they did. Okay, George.
I'll show you the world tonight. I'll show you the world tonight. Take my heart and put it in your pocket. Wear it like a life, getting hide the key. At sundown, we were only dry bones, sleeping under two stones lay by me. Sundown, when we're only dry bones, sleeping under tombstones lay by me. Take my heart and put it in your pocket, wear it like a life, getting hide the key. At sundown, when we're only dry bones, sleeping under tombstones lay by me.
Joey's wall, the place he rented for her, and where he wrote, "Ask me to stay." Downtown Wilmington is so charming. See that? It says, "Ask me to stay."
Inside my heart there's an emptiness, a heavy hate on a hollow chest. So spoken like a disease is the way to incomplete me. Can you shake this soul of mine? Shoot my breath to the highest height. Tell your truth or trust a lie. Is this hello or is it goodbye? Is this the low or is this the high? Just let it go, enjoy the ride. Without the low there ain't a...
The Wright Brothers National Memorial, replica of their flyer. No more than 15 people want to climb onto the structure. You can climb on it? Okay, I'm going to. Oh gosh, that would have been terrifying. Ugh. Whoa! Can you imagine being that guy? Who was it, Orville? Wilbur? I don't know, I haven't read about it yet. I just came straight here.
If this is low, I'm
First in flight! Oh, it was Orville. Orville's up there, because Wilbur's over here. And then their friends assisting, watching. Orville. Wilbur.
If you get it right, 'cause way up in the sky, there's no such thing as
Picture it, December 17th, 1903. They achieved liftoff on this spot, the first successful flight. And it's going, it's flying, it's actually flying, holy crap. I wonder if he was scared or excited or both. And then, boom, end of first flight. It's not much, but it was everything. Not ones to rest on their laurels. They tried a few more times that day, and we have markers here to show they went a little bit further each time. Here's the second marker. Again, about 12 seconds, about 175 feet. Wilbur got to do that one. They took turns. And there's where they started back there. And then Orville, not to be outdone, landed here for 15 seconds. A little 3 seconds longer, and he's about 200 feet. But then Wilbur, the fourth flight, he landed way down there. Here we are, the end of the fourth flight. 59 seconds, nearly a minute in the air, 852 feet. Having started all the way back there. Well done, gentlemen. First in flight.
Summer sky, sleeping since you woke. In pools, street light on the ground. Go and find strangers that you know.
At York on October 19, 1781, after a siege of 19 days by 5,500 American and 7,000 French troops at the line, 3,500 Virginia militia under command of General Thomas Nelson and 36 French ships of war, Earl Cornwallis, commander of the British forces at York and Gloucester, surrendered his army to His Excellency George Washington, Commander-in-Chief of the Combined Forces of America and France.
Let's kick out the windows, let's ride on the wall, climb over the fences, run down the hall. In the light dial, we'll rage and fight, go kicking and screaming into that good night.
Here is the second siege line at the Battle of Yorktown. These trenches were dug in the dead of night on October 11th and 12th. Much to the consternation of the British, who would soon find that their enemies were within point-blank range. They'd fire over these earthworks. This is known as Redoubt 10, not the original. They reconstructed it because after 175 years, it's been washed away to the tides. But, important to note, Alexander Hamilton led the charge with 400 American soldiers to retake this, and retake it they did! And they did it armed only with bayonets on the end of their empty muskets. They had emptied them out because they didn't want an accidental discharge to alert the British, who didn't know that they were advancing in the middle of the night, to overtake it.
We'll sing when the river thaws till we rouse.
And you guys, my hair just keeps getting bigger. I've stopped fighting it. It's what happens in this weather. Thanks, Virginia.
At least if not,
This is Moore House, belonging to Augustine Moore. And this was the site where they hashed out terms of surrender after the Battle of Yorktown. Each side sent 2 representatives. The British wanted to surrender with full honors, but that was something that they had denied the American troops in Charleston. So the Americans this time said, nope, sorry, not happening. You're not gonna surrender with full honors. And they had to leave behind their weapons, their flags. And it was all negotiated here. Fireflies. So cool, we don't have fireflies on the West Coast. I've only heard about them. And do you hear that thunder? It's very dark in here for 6 o'clock at night. It's because the storm clouds moved in. Look at the fireflies.
we'll still kick out the window.
boring. Now I don't want to get out of the car, but this is the last stop. This is Surrender Field where it all went down.
We'll go kicking and screaming into that good night.
The snare drum consists of a hollow wooden shell made of ash, maple, oak, or any other hardwoods that were grown locally. When these snares were tightened, the drum had a crisp sound that could be heard all across the battlefield. When the snares were loosened, however, the drum had a deeper, more mellow sound. It was played this way on more somber occasions, such as funerals or executions. Now on the drum, we play simple rudiments, such as the flam, the ruff, the paradiddle, and the double stroke roll. When you put these together, you get a simple beat. Thank you.
First being Yankee Doodle, which I'm sure some of you are familiar with. This was a tune sung and written by the British to mock the American colonists. Yankee referring to the colonists themselves, and Doodle referring to them as dumb, foolish farmers. They added further insult by saying we rode in on a pony, because a pony is neither a strong nor sturdy workhorse, it's just a small children's animal that no man wanted to be seen riding upon at the time. And lastly, they said we stuck a feather in our hat and called it macaroni. The feather they were referring to is our cockades, and macaroni was the term for the style of fashion of the day, such as silk frills, powdered wigs, and long flowing dresses. So in all, the British were calling the Americans dumb, foolish farmers, riding around on children's horses, trying unsuccessfully to fit in the fashion of the day. However, time would prove them wrong, because the Americans would go on to adopt the tune as a mark of national honor, and even added new phrases to praise George Washington and poke fun at the British. It is written, as the British marched to surrender, they turned their heads and refused to look at the American troops. So General Lafayette ordered the American Light Infantry Corps to play Yankee Doodle in response.
Colonial Williamsburg. Going back in time. Which used to be the capital of Virginia in the 18th century. It's a large outdoor museum now. You can just walk in and speak with the local colonials, and they'll answer your questions, and it's great fun. It's living history is what it is.
Breathing in, breathing out, fills my life, fills me up. Hold on, my mind is racing.
And oh, you use this to clip off the little...
Yep, you put it there, snip it off.
nub.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It breaks my heart that I missed Axe League on Monday, so to make up for it, I thought I'd do an 18th century range. This is the public jail, Virginia's chief prison, where Blackbeard's pirates captured in 1718 were confined until the day of their hanging. Courtyard. And then some cells, which are actually pretty spacious. This is the old Capitol. Apparently, Patrick Henry was a regular. It's where he first kindled the flames of revolution in 1765.
John Payne Jr. did agree to pay a sum of £10 to William Hicks if he would serve as an alternate for him in the 2nd Virginia Regiment for one campaign. Mr. Hicks did enlist, but Mr. Payne had fraudulently refused to pay the bounty. The plaintiff, therefore, seeks damages of £10 as well as court costs.
Your Honors, I did ask Mr. Hicks to serve in my place, and I did agree to pay him £10 as a bounty to do so. But sirs, the company that he served in was called out for less than a fortnight before being sent home without seeing any action. Gentlemen, it is not fair that I should pay him the full amount for such a short length of time, especially considering that Mr. Hicks never faced an enemy and was therefore never under any danger or risk.
By show of hands.